Okay, I'm just testing the sound. Check. Okay, it's working. We're ready, Cassie, whenever.
Okay. I think we have a quorum, so I will call this special meeting to order of the Jones LLC.
All right. Let me do a roll call. I just want to just check in the stream. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, roll call. Bowman.
Here.
Boyd.
Here.
Bugs.
Present.
Serna Prado.
Here.
Sorry. Okay. Cresswell.
Here.
Hernandez. Not here yet. Hillbrands.
Here.
Ma is here. Martinsek.
Here.
MacArthur. MacArthur? Does anyone, is she in here? Do you see her? Okay. I'll come back to her. I hear someone like they might have problems unmuting. Menjivar?
Present.
Okay. Powers?
Here.
Zen?
Here?
Okay. And where Shirley Treese is not here?
I don't see her on the list.
Okay, thanks. Mr. Hilbrands, before I call, did you see my email about there was a public speaker who put their email in incorrectly, and I was unable to invite them to the meet? And I thought maybe you could look up their email. That if you could do that, that would be awesome. Okay. Okay. I'm going to make a motion to approve the agenda. You have a second?
I second.
Okay. Is that you, Roberto? Sorry, I'm like,
Yes, I'm sorry.
okay,
This is Roberto.
thank you. I'm going to do a roll call for approval of the agenda. Bowman,
Yes.
Boyd,
Yeah.
I think was that a yes, Miss Boyd? I'll come back to her. Bugs,
Yes.
okay. Serna Prado,
Yes.
Cresswell,
Yes.
Hillbrands.
Yes, and I do not see the email that you're referring to. When did you send it?
It's from the Jones College Prep LLC email. Let me send it again.
I got it. Okay.
Okay. Okay, sorry, back to the roll call. Hernandez, are you here yet? No? Okay. Ma is yay. Martinsek,
Yay.
Menjivar,
Yay.
I guess, is MacArthur here now? Does anyone have her number? Could they text her the link for the Google Meet? Powers.
I'll text it.
Thank you, Elaine. And I heard the yay for Powers and Zen.
Yay.
And Boyd, are you approving the agenda?
Yeah.
Okay, I just saw Jose joined at 6:05. Okay, so the agenda is approved. Oh, typing. Great. We're not approving any minutes right now. Okay, Cassie, it's all yours.
So let's begin public participation. Reminder that you have 3 minutes. I will give you a little notice at like around 2:30. So just to make sure you know when you need to wind it up. Okay, the first person is Carol Deely. Carol, do you want to go ahead?
Hi, everyone. I'm just wanted to speak tonight about a few concerns that I had about the survey itself, because I know that it's a lot of work that you put into it, and it's an important tool for you. But I had a question about a couple things. First of all, I thought that the validity of the questions in a year of pandemic didn't seem to be really spot on. I don't see that they could be used in evaluation as they would in a normal year. So in my opinion, the many of the questions like, does the principal set up internships and college tours? Obviously that couldn't happen last year. So I just had some concern about that. And I thought that these type of questions would have been updated this year by the district, because it wasn't a normal year and school didn't start until today. So that's number one. Number two is I was wondering what the quantitative value of the survey, since people could fill it out as many times as they wanted to. It was done confidentially, and I don't know if you're tracking people's internet numbers and things like that, but people could fill these out as many times as they want. So if somebody really had a beef about something, they could have filled it out over and over, and the other way as well. So I'm concerned that why don't we have people's names on these so that they can't sign them up more than once like they do for voting. Okay. And then the final thing that I wanted to mention was that I know that, again, it's a pandemic year. The LSC has been in place for 4 months, I guess. And so it seems to me that the survey is not doing you much service at being new in your positions to evaluate the principal, because it's not updated to this past year. So those are my only comments, and thank you for your time.
Thanks, Carol. The next person is Ann Nacionales. Oops. I wish we could ask people to unmute, but I can't, so I can't alert her. Hi, Ann. Can the host ask the person to unmute? Oh, Google. Oops. Hi, Ann, we can't hear you. Maybe you can log in and log back out?
Okay.
Oh,
Can
great.
you
there
hear
you
me
are.
now?
Yes.
Okay.
Excellent. Thank you.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. You know what? I had my first child at Jones in 2010 when he came in as a freshman. Okay. Since we're talking about principal evaluation, I think back then there were only 700 students. Okay. And then in 2013, if I remember correctly, there was an influx of, I think, more than 500 students. Okay. And now, according to the website, we have close to 2,000 students. And through it all, the quality of education at Jones has never been sacrificed. And so that I think that itself says a lot regarding the exemplary leadership of Dr. Powers and his team. I mean, having such a double in the amount of students and then the level of learning. I mean, if for anything, they even got the Blue Ribbon Award 3 times. And I think no CPS school has ever gotten that 3 times, like Jones, in Chicago at least. And so, and there has never been a time wherein Dr. Powers or his vice principals or even the staff or even the teachers and the counselors have ignored our concerns and our problems. They're always keeping us up to date. And they're very sincerely concerned and very approachable. And that's why I believe so much in the strong leadership of Dr. Powers. I think what is good for the students has always been at the forefront of his decision making. That's why, I'm Asian and my kids are purely Asian. And I was shocked when I learned that he was being accused of being a racist. I never felt that on my part. Not not a bit. They were very approachable, and my kids would always say that at Jones it's always like family. Dr. Powers is like a big daddy to everybody. Very concerned, very personable. They were saying that it's so personalized at Jones because anybody can go directly to Dr. Powers and that he will make sure he does something. I have a co-parent there. Her name's Sherry Sherman. She was telling me, because we both have sophomores now at Jones right now, that last year her son was having difficulty with looking for his locker as a freshman. And she was telling me how Dr. Powers himself helped him find the locker, his locker.
Hi,
So-
Ann, you're almost at 3 minutes, just letting you know.
Okay. Also, about the questionnaire, the survey, I also have something about that. It's very unusual because the question, first of all, it would ask for you to write sentences. Normally, a quick survey is what people want so that they will answer it. And then on the top of the survey, when you answer it, when you have choices, it starts with "I strongly disagree." It looks like it's framed so that it will have a desired outcome of whoever wrote that. So please, I'm just begging the leadership, the LSC, please be fair, impartial in the way you will do an evaluation. Even that survey has to be fixed. Like
Wrap it up,
what
Ann.
the other parent said earlier, anybody can log in multiple times and come up with a desired
Right.
outcome. So
Thank-
please be fair, okay? Dr. Powers has been so good to the kids and even to us parents.
Thank
And
you,
we
Ann.
love him. Thank you.
Okay, next speaker is John David Nacionales.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, Ms. Bowman. Hi, Dr. Powers. I'm actually a Jones alumni. I graduated in 2015. First of all, I would also like to echo some of the same concerns about the survey as Carol Deely did earlier. I had the privilege of being able to see the survey because my younger brother still attends the school right now, and I echo the same concerns about it doesn't look like as it was going after as much quantitative data as a survey like this should be. But aside from that, I just wanted to throw my support behind Dr. Powers because later on, I understand that the principal evaluation will be a closed session. But Dr. Powers has always been a very supported principal. Unlike a lot of students at Jones, I was not exactly, I wasn't always at the top of my game, which in many instances could be like very hurtful, especially for an Asian American like me. As you know, as many of you are probably familiar about the model minority myth that Asians like us have no problems with school, no problems with academics, but I didn't fit exactly into that mold. And so I was unsure about how would I be able to succeed through if I'm not the best student. However, one of the things that I appreciate Dr. Powers about was that he threw his support behind the academic decathlon program, which I was a part of from my sophomore to senior year. And the academic decathlon program allowed me, even though I didn't fit exactly into the mold that people might have thought, I was able to exercise my academic and creative skills, even though I wasn't allowed in. I might not look as good, and that allowed me that helped me and supplemented my college application. I also was a member of the journalism program before, and I remember one time I had to conduct an interview with Dr. Powers regarding my Chinese class. And I remember Dr. Powers was very friendly and open, and he was answering all my questions very thoroughly. And
Hi, John
one of the
David.
reasons,
15
yes.
seconds, just to give you
15 seconds. Okay.
to wrap it up.
So I just want to express how much Dr. Powers has been supportive to me, a student of color. And the same concerns that Carol Deely had about the survey, it is my understanding that a lot of the questions regarding Dr. Powers' leadership did stem from an Instagram page, Jones BIPOC, which frankly has a lot of the same problems of anonymity and a lack of open accountability for those who are posting there. And so I just wanted to say that I really do appreciate Dr. Powers, and I thank him for my time at Jones. So
Thanks, John David.
thank you.
Next up is Shalimar Beekman. Do listen out. I will also wave a little when you're getting close to 3 minutes. So
Okay, thank you.
we have a long meeting ahead of us.
Okay, thank you for the opportunity to speak. My name is Shalimar Beekman, and I am a parent of a senior. I've been on the Friends of Jones board for the last 3 years, and for 2 of those years, I've been the grants liaison, and I have had the opportunity to meet with Dr. Powers 2 times a month for the last 2 years as we go over every single grant that Friends of Jones receives from various student clubs, teams, faculty, and teachers. And I'd like to make 3 key points tonight in support of Dr. Powers. The first is that, in my experience, his #1 priority and guidepost for decision-making are the students. And I've worked with many principals at many different schools, and he is the one example where I can say that he truly lives by that principle. The second is that he is the CEO of this school, and he runs the place like a business. When it comes to managing the school, I've seen a very tiny portion of the challenges and the tough decisions that he needs to make on a daily basis, but he does so with professionalism and class. And the third has been touched on a little bit. I think the results speak for themselves. I mean, during his tenure, Jones has won the Blue Ribbon Award 3 times. It was the first CPS school to do so. We've ranked 3rd in the state of Illinois. Excuse me, get a sip of water. Am I getting close to my 3 minutes? And I believe that Jones is also very often the most frequently chosen as the first choice in the selective enrollment process among students. So I just would like to say, Dr. Powers has shown his commitment to the school and to the students of Jones, and I hope that the committee will show, Dr. Powers, support Dr. Powers in his efforts tonight. So thank you.
Thank you, Shalimar. Next up is KK Cleland. There you are, KK. Go ahead.
Thanks, Cassie. Can you guys hear me okay? Great. I just want to thank the opportunity, thank the LSC for the opportunity to join you guys again tonight. And as a follow-up, those of you who know that I was on the call a couple months ago, I just wanted to let you know that I did have a really thoughtful conversation with Sarah Ma as a follow-up, and I appreciated that opportunity as well. So I want to acknowledge the willingness from the LSC to just have some conversation. And tonight, my goal in being here with you all is to share and echo the sentiments in supporting Dr. Powers. But I haven't just done it this year. For the last 5 years, I have written to the LSC to endorse and give support for Dr. Powers unequivocally. And I believe that if I looked at the letter I wrote 4 years ago, I would write the same thing tonight. And that is, when students come to Jones, they feel welcome. When they leave Jones, they feel empowered. And I think that comes from the special guidance, vision, leadership, dedication, commitment, resource management, CEO functioning that Shalimar mentioned. I think all that comes from Dr. Powers. He deputizes his assistant principals in a way that creates enormous efficiency, but also thoughtful leadership. And then he gives the faculty what they need. And I think that we can't underestimate just how vital the trust he gives to them. And he really runs it truly as an organization that continues to evolve and continues to really reflect issues that come and go. I've seen the school go from class sizes of 220, I think, Dr. Powers, when Jack Cleland was joining in, and now we're, classes between 500 and 600. So we've seen this school grow and expand, and Dr. Powers has thoughtfully managed and navigated that on behalf of our students. Not for us, but for our students. And I will tell you, having two alums of Jones College Prep, and John David was in one of the classes with Jack, I will tell you that these students leave so prepared and so proud of what they have accomplished, because they go on to be great roommates in college. They become campus leaders. These students really become the grad that we wanted to see. And so I really commend Dr. Powers. You have been an amazing captain of our ship. We all owe you enormous gratitude for the fun that you have created. Let's never forget how fun it is to be in a high school environment. And so thank you for giving us that privilege to be with you. And I encourage the LSC tonight to look very carefully at the comments tonight, but I do challenge.
KK, you're at 3 minutes.
Okay. I do challenge some of the comments that John David, Carol, and Edith gave. So I hope that goes into consideration, but thank you for the opportunity, and good wishes to everyone for a good meeting tonight.
Thanks, KK. Next up is Ellen.
Hi,
Thanks, Ellen.
thank you. I just wanted to speak for like a brief moment. So as you all know, we are back in a hybrid model, so a lot of changes have been occurring at the school for everybody's roles. I understand that that is definitely something that's going on right now, but I do want to bring up something that some of my students brought up to me when we were in person seeing each other for the first time. And that's that they felt that we as teachers, as a school community, were not providing them with the resources they needed to help process the most recent CPS student who was shot by Chicago police, shot and killed, Adam Toledo. And so a few of my students brought this up in 2 of my classes today, that they felt a little bit as though the conversations weren't happening. They weren't sure, like they didn't really hear a school-wide response about this. So I just wanted to bring up that, like, while I recognize the urgency of all of our planning during reopening, I think just keeping cognizant of those needs that our students may have for trauma-informed responses that we may not know that they need, but like should be systemically providing. I know this is an area that I personally have not provided my students with enough resources for. And so that's something that I think I just wanted to bring up. Unfortunately, this may not be the last incident or tragedy that we have to help our students process. So I guess I'm looking for like continued development of a school-wide plan. Like, what does this look like? How do we as a school like do wraparound services and bring in experts to help our students with these situations?
Thanks, Ellen. The next speaker is Pamela Leonard. And LSC, we can do responses after the public participation. Go ahead, Pam.
Thank you. Good evening. My name is Pam Leonard. I have a graduating senior at Jones. I have been a CPS parent for 15 years. And I first want to acknowledge, which I think we all do, the difficulty of being a principal, particularly the difficulty of being a principal in a huge bureaucracy like CPS. And I do have to commend Dr. Powers for all that he has done for Jones, how much he has been responsive to the concerns of the faculty, of the parents, of the students. Although I know some students challenge sometimes his responsiveness, I think he does every effort that he can to meet their needs and to acknowledge their concerns and to address them as much as any teenager is going to be pleased with him addressing them. Even like what Ellen just said about bringing up something, I would pretty much expect that very soon after he'll probably be addressing that concern. That's the kind of thing that I've seen him do, which I think is huge. My main reason for speaking is not only to, voice my support for Dr. Powers, but also to say that I was part of a community in a blue ribbon CPS school where the LSC decided to remove a principal without necessarily all the support of the community, and what it did to the school and how much it affected the school, and kind of came in with an agenda, and it took a long time to build that school back up. From what I've heard, that's kind of the agenda of this LSC that has come in. It's very disappointing to hear that an LSC would come into a community and have that be their agenda. I think it's very, very important to actually get to know what's going on at the school before they move forward with something like that. My understanding is that many of the parents on the LSC that have been brought in are newer parents to the Jones community. So I guess I would question how they actually know all of the things to know that they could be running on such a ticket. And I really would ask you to sit back and think and to listen to your community fully. And also think about what it does do to a school if you try to unseat a principal when it's been an incredibly successful school for such an incredibly long time. And there's no way that that could happen without a very strong principal behind it. So thank you for your time tonight. That's all I have to say.
Thanks, Pam. Next speaker, Lance Marco.
Okay, great. A lot of it has already been spoken on behalf of Dr. Powers. Just a couple things to summarize real quickly. I have had the opportunity to send both my children to Jones. One was the class of 2019, the other hopefully will become the class of 2021. And we're the type of parents, Mary and myself, are very involved with our kids. And I believe in sitting down and having family dinners, and we talk about the day. And I was extremely and am extremely impressed with the type of men that they become. And I attribute that to Jones. And obviously it starts at the top. So I really don't have any vested interest, to be honest with you, whether or not Dr. Powers is renewed, but I just feel that in order for Jones to continue to be successful, that really Dr. Powers is the reason why, because obviously anybody at the top employs all the people underneath, and that becomes the success of the school itself in this instance. One last comment that someone else brought up is the survey. I felt that was actually, when I was going through the survey, I kind of had to stop and go back, because I've never noticed a survey starting with where it says strongly disagree. That's very unusual. Usually it's strongly agree, and then you go down from there. I thought that was kind of odd that the survey would begin with that. So I kind of got the impression that that the LSC kind of is attempting to persuade the survey in a negative fashion. Because I like, once again, I've never seen it where any survey starts with strongly disagree. Very, very unique. That's about it.
Thanks, Lance. Next up is James Nacionales.
Yeah, hi. I'd also like to speak in support of Dr. Powers. I'm a current sophomore in the class of 2023 at Jones, And I've noticed that a lot of people, mainly new parents coming in, are against Dr. Powers. But in the time I've had at Jones so far, he's done nothing but been helpful and respectful and kind toward his students. When I first came in last year, I noticed that the first thing I noticed actually was that Dr. Powers was next to the security, greeting every single student with a smile and shaking their hands. And I don't think I've been at any other school where I've seen a principal as involved as that, where he's willing to take the time to greet every single student and discuss how their day's been so far. And I've also noticed that compared to my old middle school with only about 300 students, Dr. Powers has been completely willing to be involved in his students' lives if they're willing to share. And he's taken care of thousands of students, yet he has no hesitation to talk to them, to discuss how their day's been going, whether it's academically or socially. And I've also noticed that my siblings have also gone to Jones, and they have nothing except for good words to say about Dr. Powers, as well as I do, because he's been completely involved in all the right ways. And people have been saying that Dr. Powers hasn't really been taking the right approach towards everything going on. But compared to a lot of the friends I have at other schools, their schools are really delayed in the involvement of how their students are feeling or with current events and checking up on their students. But almost every single one of my teachers and my counselors email me right away to ask if I need any help with anything, to ask if I need any support due to current events. And I don't think that would really be happening if not for Dr. Powers, because he cares more for students than most other principals at other high schools. And in his time as principal, he's managed to help maintain Jones's position as a top 3 public high school. And I don't think that there's any other principal that could maintain that same excellence as Dr. Powers. And that's all. Thank you.
Thanks, James. Next is Lisa Hassler-Thomas.
Hello, how are you?
Thanks.
It's nice to finally meet you. I think that I've sat on the sidelines for a little bit, and I've heard, kind of comments and things, and I think I just have a little bit of concern. One, when I looked up, looked up the leading, folks on the, love that face right there, but anyway, looked up the folks that were doing the hoopla, and I thought, your freshman parents, usually as a freshman parent, I came in, got the lay of the land, got involved, did some volunteering, tried to figure out what was going on, and then begin whatever agenda. I also thought that I was a little offended because I really didn't have anyone reach out to me and have, some kind of meeting about what was going on. And I kind of resented a little bit the assumption that as a Black chick, I couldn't speak up for my Black son who's gay. That kind of bothered me a little bit because it's that typical Joe Trust thing that, the white folks come in, decide what you need for you, make the agenda for you, and begin the conversation and come up with the solutions and settle it. So it's not that I mind you having an issue looking at equity, but I'd like to be in the conversation because as a Black chick, right, in psychology, looking at a doctorate, I know what you're talking about firsthand. I know what you're talking about firsthand, and it's pervasive and it's everywhere, and we're all in the same soup, and I do it too, and so do you. We all do. So conversation, right, is what we need to be doing. We need to offend everybody and figure it out, say the wrong thing, say the right thing, fix it. That's what it's about. It's about conversation. It's not about witch hunt. But that's part of the white supremacist soup too, right? The witch hunt. That's what we do. But that's not what Jones needs. I have a friend who had a school where someone had a problem and came in and gangbusted through the door and they fixed it, but the school under the scrutiny couldn't take it and became ruined and closed. But that parent had the resources to go someplace else. Many of the lower income parents for which that was a resource didn't have that privilege.
Lisa, you have about 30 seconds.
30 seconds. All I'm saying is talking, 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 talking. That's what's going to change things. Getting it wrong, fixing it. That's what's going to change things. Not getting rid of the principal. Truly. Thank you very much for your time.
Thanks. Thanks, Lisa. Next up is Lainey.
Hi, hopefully that all worked.
Yep, there you are.
I can't see myself, so if you guys see my nostrils, I apologize. I just wanted to, going to ask that the LSC actually, when you do respond to these public comments, if you can please confirm, this is actually just the annual, this is just the annual principal evaluation review. I just want to make sure that people are clear that this is not a contract renewal year. Dr. Powers' contract has been renewed, and he does have his contract, and I don't know exactly. I think it's at least for 2 to 3 more years. So I do want anybody that kind of thought that just to know this. This is an annual process. My name is Lainey. I have a junior and a freshman here. I've been involved with Jones off and on for about 15 years, both as a community representative on the LSC, a parent representative on the LSC, a volunteer, picking up trash, donating money, kind of all over the case on there. I do think that, and I do want to also stand and provide my point of view with Dr. Powers. I have worked with him and many people on the administration off and on over those 10 to 15 years. And something that Lisa said kind of made me think about this. You know, we aren't all going to get things right all the time, and it is a messy soup. I like that. I like soup, and I think that's a good analogy. But, you know, in my time in working with Dr. Powers and the people who he oversees as a leader, you know, he will acknowledge if there have been mistakes, and he is open and willing to making change. And to me, that is something that is a sign of strong leadership. And the other sign to that is, you know, that strong leadership over the years has really driven into academic impacts and results for our students, opportunities, and even someone else addressed this, CPS is a messy soup too. And to have a leader who can work within that messy soup and have their own messy soup, and we still got students out there doing great things, is amazing. Again, someone else mentioned this, but in my time working with Dr. Powers, his focus has been on the academics to the benefit of our students. I do understand that there has been feedback and issues as it relates to MESH issues, mental, emotional, society. So I forget what the S is for, but health issues.
You have about 30 seconds.
Okay, and I think that it's important to know that he has been willing to work across stakeholders, work with students, parents, and individuals. He does not shy away from feedback. And he has mine and my husband and children's unequivocal support. And we just wanted to say that.
Thanks, Lainey.
Thank you.
Okay, next is Mary Claire. Check here. I think she is not in the Zoom. We will.
She was in her car, so she might have dropped off. I can try and ping her.
Yeah. And then our final speaker is Laura Brower. Is Laura here?
Hi, this is Laura. Can you hear me? I don't have video, so I'm just on the phone.
Yep, go ahead, Laura. Thanks.
Okay, thanks. I mean, first of all, I kind of don't want to just jump ahead, and I don't want to go to the place where there's a possibility that there's this agenda where we're trying to get rid of Dr. Powers or the LSC is. So I'm going to assume that we're not, because I don't really understand if that does happen. I'm a little confused as to sort of what parents, if we were to find out if the LSC is capable of of getting rid of a principal. I just wanted to know what recourse or what can parents do, or is it just a done deal and there's nothing that parents can do? I know that we took this survey, and so I'd like to think that we will eventually get the results of that survey, or that we will know what's going on, and if something's happening behind closed doors, that we will be made aware of it, and that we could then speak up at that point. So I'm gonna, not think the worst of this. I know everybody's speaking on behalf of Dr. Powers, and I could talk forever about him. I've had 2 kids at the school. One is had already graduated. I have a junior, and I have, from day one, I've known Dr. Powers as a parent. I've known him on the board. I've been involved on the Friends of Jones board from walking into the school the very first day. I was president of Friends of Jones. He's incredibly, easy to work with. He listens. He is so accessible to anyone. I mean, I think everybody would think that. He has the respect and friendship of his staff, of parents, of students, of teachers. And I think that, he's brought our school to where it is today. Is it a perfect school? No, I don't think any school is perfect. I think that the most important thing is to have a principal that has great leadership, who has a good relationship with his staff, he's exceptionally good at doing the budget for the school, and we worked with him on that. When we would present grants, he would meet with us beforehand. He always had time for us. And so I kind of feel like if there are issues, I think that communicating and dialogue is really the way to go at this point. I think that I would not want my daughter to be at the school if he was not the principal. So I've, been at other schools, I've heard other things, and I think we're extremely lucky to have him. And I just think that there needs to be open communication at all times between LSC and Dr. Powers and the administration. And I think that's really the way to go if the LSC is having any issues. But I would like it to be answered at some, if somebody could get back to me at some point, I would like to know if anything does happen, what can parents do after the fact?
Yes,
Thank you.
Address them as now. Is Mary Claire there? Did she pop up to be added to the meet? Does Troy let people in? Oh, there's Troy. Troy, did you see Mary Claire?
I didn't see her in, but let me look again.
Maybe on a phone? Is she on phone?
We do have one that's.
Yeah, I think
does
that's
not have a
her.
name.
Yeah, she's on a mobile device.
Yeah, I see one that's just a bunch of dots and then a phone number.
Does anyone know first few digits of Mary Claire's phone number they could read out for Troy?
I can look her up.
So I'll quickly address one, or maybe 2 people brought that up. Lainey brought that up, I know, and I think Laura alluded to it. Dr. Powers' contract was voted on by the Board of Ed, I think last August. Correct me if I'm wrong. So this is the first evaluation cycle in a 4-year contract. So this is not the same as after 4 years, you vote on the renewal of the contract. That vote took place, I think, by the LSC in December 2019. So it's just the annual evaluation that every LSC does of principals. Any sign of Mary Claire there?
Right, her number has 50510 in it.
The number that I see in the chat that doesn't have that, it just has 312 on it. So I don't know if that's her or not.
I don't think a lot of people have this link. I think we could.
Yeah,
if you're able, if you're able to.
She is unmuted.
Okay, is that you, Mary?
That was Laura, the other phone number right there.
Oh,
Right?
oh, yeah. It is a 312 with these other numbers, Troy.
Yeah. Okay, if we see her in the next couple minutes, we can add her to speak. Laura, could you mute yourself? Okay, LSC, I am opening the floor for you. If you have a comment, raise your hand. Rachel, go ahead.
Just super quick, just because I know we have a long meeting ahead of us, I just want to say thank you to everyone who is engaging in this process. LSCs are just, I think, incredible democratic mechanisms, and I am just like so grateful to see all this participation. This is like the point of LSCs, in my opinion. And so that's all I wanted to say. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Rachel. Sarah, go ahead.
Naya has her hand raised, but just quickly there are a few comments about the survey. I looked at the survey that was sent out last year. It's the same questions. Those are taken directly from the principal evaluation section of the LSC guide. And they're also in the same order. So instead of saying strongly disagree, they use numbers 0 through 4, where 0 was strongly, well, what did I write? It was whatever, strongly disagree. So it's the same. I think people are just in a different place mentally. We don't, we're not renewing the contract. This is an annual principal evaluation. I don't have that kind of power. It's a democracy. So I've been in many principal evaluations. We'll get together in a closed session. And what we'll do is we'll go through each competency that's listed in the principal guide. And we used various data. Dr. Powers answered a bunch of open-ended questions for us to give us background more than just the pandemic year. So we'd have background on his 13-year history. So he submitted that to us. He also submitted other minutes and documentation. We have all the parent data. We have the PPLC, which is the teacher group. They sent the similar questions, and we have that data. So as an LSC member, we're not here. I'm not here as Sarah Ma, and I'm not here to say like, this is how I feel. I'm looking at the parent data, the teacher data, with the feedback that Dr. Powers has given us and other observations that we've made throughout this year. And the evaluation is really only for this year. And then what we'll do is we'll give Dr. Powers the feedback from our closed session, and then he can respond to it. So if there's things that he doesn't agree with or he would like us to change, there is a response period back. And you can read about all this in the LSC guide. This is not a secretive process. It's very well established, and it happens on an annual basis. Yeah, and I think it's a very systemic process. Like, again, I think it's I think no one should feel that it's not going to be fair. Thank you.
Thanks, Sarah. Danaya? We can't quite hear you when you go off mute, Danaya. I think she's gonna come back in a second. Yes, I will add to Sarah's that, oh, here's Danaya. Hi, Danaya, go ahead when you can.
Can you hear me now?
Yep, you're just a little bit quieter than.
Okay. Sorry, I don't really know what's going on with my mic, but I'll try to talk louder. So for anyone who doesn't know me, I guess my name is Danaya. I've been the LSC rep for almost 2 years. And I just kind of wanted to speak to the talks of like agendas and like maybe like not representing the community well, and kind of echoing a little bit of what Sarah was saying. Sorry. I don't think that there's any attempt to like coup Dr. Powers or any attempt to misrepresent the Jones community. I think that we can all respect that other people have perceptions and experiences at Jones that we may not have as individuals. And like Sarah was saying, everything that we do is based off what other, what stakeholders tell us about, like the surveys we get and emails we get and things like that. It's not by any means like a personal like opinion, like, yeah, I want Dr. Powers out, you too, okay, cool. And then that's like the end of the meeting. And I just want everybody to know that like we as LSC members, and I know me speaking personally, do put a lot of time into not only representing my opinion, but representing the opinion of students. So I just don't want anyone to think that, and I'm also a member of the Black community. I'm at Jones, I'm the president of the Black Student Union for 2 years. So I don't want anyone to think that there's any bias, any white supremacy, any like anti-Dr. Powers sentiment. And I think it's really important to just establish the LSC as a neutral body who wants the best for the school, just like everyone else. So, thank you.
Thanks, Danaya. I will put a link in the chat here. Sarah, can you put it in the YouTube chat? Because I don't have it open. People are welcome to go back. We have the agenda and the minutes and stuff from the March 9th meeting. That's where we had our initial discussion of what the process would be like this year. The slides that we discussed that night have links to the LSC resource guide. And you can see in Appendix G there a whole list of stuff that LSCs can use as evidence in the principal evaluation. The goal of the principal evaluation is to give the principal feedback so that the school improves. And so that's how this works. LSCs have been doing this for 35 years. That's the process. Go ahead, Roberto.
Can everyone hear me? Great. I apologize for not having my camera on. For some reason, it is not working with the Google Meet, and I didn't want to step out and try to step in because I wanted to be respectful of everyone's comments. So my name is Roberto Menjivar. I've been at the school in 2019. I'm not a new parent. It's my second year at Jones. And as I've said before, I have attended every LSC meeting in person and virtually, except for one, when the LSC moved to virtually due to the pandemic. And since September 2019, I've listened, those monthly LSC meetings, I have listened to the conversations that the LSC, the previous LSC members had. I've listened to our amazing and just incredibly thoughtful student representative, Danaya Boy, who you just heard from. I've listened to some of the teachers who have made comments at the LSC since 2019. And there are, in my view, there are a number of students and families who haven't had the best experience. And the thing that we are trying to do, one of the reasons I ran, right, if you want to call it an agenda, is to improve the experiences for all of the students. I have attempted to work with Dr. Powers, with his assistant principal, Mr. Mitchell, and we talk about collaboration. Some of our guests here, parents and alum, have talked about working with the administration, right? I have reached out. I've asked for data. I've asked for documents, right? I want to improve the school culture and climate. And so it seems to me that this street goes both ways. And when you look at the narratives that the students are presenting, and when you look at the data, it does begin to show a clear discrepancy in student groups. And so how is the administrative leadership team addressing those things? And so that is my role and my responsibility to identify those things and try to work with the administrative leadership team to improve those things, to address it, from our decrease in our Black student enrollment, from the number of merit scholarships. If you disaggregate the data, there's a discrepancy there. If you look at access to selective colleges, there's a discrepancy there. So how are we addressing these things? How is the school addressing these things? So that is part of my responsibilities, to help and provide guide and support the school and the administrative leadership team. Thank you.
Thanks, Roberto. LLC, any other comments or questions or announcements? Go ahead, Sarah.
Just a quick one to let everyone know also that the legal department approved the survey that was given. Correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, so I just wanted to make sure everyone know that we didn't just make those questions up there from the guide, and that they were approved by the legal department.
Okay, I will entertain a motion to go into closed session. LSC members, you should have a link in your email for the closed session.
Cassie, can I just amend I just want to this is KK.
Hi, KK. I think it's sort of out of order right now, and we really need to keep on moving.
Okay.
So sorry, please email us. Thanks.
Well, I'd like to just
No, KK, no. Sorry, this is out of order. We're not entertaining. You had your 3 minutes. I'm sorry. No. Oh, wait, we do have a budget thing though. We cannot hang up yet. But no, I would love for everyone who already did their public participation to go ahead and hop off the call now.
Cassie, can I just ask a quick question? Is the meeting?
Sorry.
No,
I'm sorry, I don't have a mute, but I am the chair. I am not recognizing any members of the public right now. We're going to move on to our next item. Please.
I'm not.
Talk.
I'm a member of the LLC. I just want to know about the link.
Latrice, the link was emailed to you. We do have one more item to do before the closed session. Sorry, I missed the budget vote. But this is not time for public participation, in case anyone is confused. Public participation is done. Sorry to not have said that item is now done. We are moving on. Let's do the approval, which is item number 4 on the agenda.
Sorry. Sorry, it's been the public link for view. You can still view it. It's right there. Okay. Okay, let me pull this up. The band needs some PPE for band. $3,271.25 for band personal protective equipment. And if you scroll down, it has the bags that they're going to use. Any questions?
Can I add just an explanation on
Yes.
that?
Yes, please.
This is because of band instruments needing to be used by multiple students, and it has to do with protective processes and equipment to cover certain things and clean and so forth. And Mr. Block has gone through comprehensively and come up with this to make sure that now that we have students in the building participating directly in band rather than at home, that these kids are protected as best as possible. So it sounds odd, PPE, for band, but that's specifically what it's for.
I would say it does not sound odd. It sounds needed.
If that's it, I will make
a motion here.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Okay. Let me do a roll call. Bowman?
Yes.
Boyd?
Yeah.
Bugs?
Yes.
Serna Prado?
Yes.
Cresswell?
Yes.
Hernandez?
Yes.
Hillbrands,
Yay.
Ma, yay, Martin Sec,
Yes.
Benjavar,
Yay.
Powers,
Yes.
Zen.
Yes.
Okay. The band will get to their PPE.
You didn't call my name.
Oh, MacArthur, I'm sorry. It's right there.
Yes.
I'm sorry, Miss MacArthur. MacArthur,
Yes.
thank you. I have too many windows open. My apologies.
Okay, I think that takes care of item number 4. Sorry, I'm finding my agenda stuff here. And then I am happy to entertain a motion to go into the closed session. We need someone to make that motion, including the mention of the exception. Is there another thing, Sarah?
It's fine. I just want to, just from a logistics point of view. So on the stream, it will just be a blank screen that says that we're in closed session. When we go back to open, I would like us to hop back on the Meet to be in open session, and so that it's recorded that we, close the session properly. I mean, sorry, adjourn the meeting properly. And then if you could talk a little bit about what do you want us to do to go into the closed session and who will be recording that? That's what I want to know.
I put out the Zoom link, so I'll record it. And let's hear. Go ahead, Latrice.
I do. Thank you, Rachel. I would like to complete my question. I wanted to know if the Zoom link that you just sent out is the correct link for the closed session.
Yes, that's what you should go open that one to go into the closed session. So we will all leave here and rejoin there.
Okay, we're back. We need to make a motion to go into closed session. And I will take a roll call. So first I'll make a motion to go into closed session.
And then we'll second that.
Okay, Ms. Bowman.
For the exception to discuss personnel and
Thank you.
principal evaluation.
Okay, and I will call everyone's name. Bowman.
Yes.
Boyd.
Yay.
Bugs.
Yes.
Serna Prado. Is she here?
No. I think we lost
Okay.
her.
Cresswell.
Yes.
Hernandez.
Yes.
Hillbrands.
Yay.
Ma. Yay. Martin Sec.
Yay.
MacArthur. Oh, we lost her. No, she's here. No, she's not here. Okay. Menjivar.
Yay.
Powers.
Dr. Powers put a question in the chat.
Dr. Powers, if the principal evaluation is a personnel matter that you can discuss in closed session.
I see. Thank you.
I guess Powers could still vote that we're going into closed. Would you like to approve that or vote for that?
Yes.
Yay. Okay, thank you. Zen? We lost Zen too. Okay, we have enough though to go to closed. I'm sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, we have 10. Thank you for that. And then when we come into open, I will do another roll call. So I'll see you on the flip side.
So I think there's enough of us back here. Recalling to order. Why can't I hear anything? Okay, and do we need to roll call us in and out then, Sarah? And you're muted, Sarah.
Sorry.
To
Okay, so you're calling the meeting to order at 8:57. I'll do a roll call and then you just adjourn the meeting. I think if I'll do the roll call and then if you want to make a comment about where we're at. So here's a roll call. Bowman.
Here.
Boyd.
Here.
Hugs.
Present.
Brenda Prado.
Here.
Cresswell.
Here.
Hernandez.
Present.
Hilbrands. Hilbrands, talk to me. I can't hear you. I don't know. I see you though. Okay, you're waving. Ma here. Martinsek.
Here.
MacArthur.
Here.
Menjivar.
Present.
Zen.
Here.
Okay. We're all here. Cassie?
So we'll adjourn or we'll move principal evaluation to old business for, can you have old business at a special meeting? I don't know. I will propose a special meeting for next Monday, 6 p.m. And we'll, if ever, do we have to actually vote on that? No, I'm just calling it. Okay, I call that special meeting and look for the link. Okay, and so seeing no other business, we're adjourning.